Hey fellow music fans, welcome back to Psychology of Rock. If you're new here, my name's Nina, and today I'm going to be giving an analysis and an MBTI personality profile assessment of one of my favorite singers and guitarists in the rock scene today, the incomparable Dany from the Mexican rock band The Warning. As many of you may know, I am a huge fan and supporter of the band. In fact, I have a whole Warning playlist that I will go ahead and list down in the description box below. That includes the assessments I did of Dany's sisters and bandmates, Pau and Ali, and I am very excited to finally be getting to Dany's assessment today. I'll start by sharing some of the observations I've made about her performances, her personality, and then what I believe to be her MBTI or Myers-Briggs type indicator personality type. I'll give an overview of that type and its defining traits and characteristics, and then you can see whether or not you agree with this assessment. And with that being said, let's get straight into it. So firstly, I have to say that although I have massive respect and admiration for all three sisters and feel that they are consummate professionals who are all immensely talented, it really was Dany who first caught my attention and got me obsessed with this band. Now, I love absolutely everything about The Warning, but for me, it was the guitar riffs that immediately pulled me in. Because I also play guitar, it tends to be my favorite or least favorite part of any group. I either love it or hate it, and in the case of Dany, I love her playing and her writing. I think she's an extremely innovative player, yet I can also clearly hear a lot of her musical inspirations when she's playing. I think we have a lot of the same influences. I hear AC/DC and Pink Floyd and Metallica, of course. She can very effortlessly pull off these strong leads, many of which have odd time signatures and unexpected musical changes. And what blows my mind is that a lot of the time that she is doing this, she is also singing lead vocals. I also have to say that I absolutely love her voice. I think it's powerful, I think it's unique, and even though Pau writes a lot of the lyrics she sings, I think Dany really delivers those lyrics in an unforgettable way. I think it's just perfect for the sound that they have. In fact, many of you have pointed out in the comments the similarities you see between the band Rush and the Warning band, and I absolutely agree. I think there is a parallel between the way Neil Peart expertly writes the lyrics that Geddy Lee sings so impeccably well, and the relationship that Pau and Dany have with writing and delivering those lyrics. I think there is a connection between these two drummers and these two vocalists. However, there is a little bit of a difference between The Warning and Rush in that Dany does write some of the songs herself and that Pau really sings a lot of the lead vocals. But there is a similarity there that I can definitely see. But back to Dany specifically, something that needs to be mentioned is her charisma and incredible stage personality. She is such a captivating and fun performer to watch. She has complete command over the stage and her audience, and it is very apparent that she is driven to make sure that the audience is having a good time. I love watching her interact with the audience, whether it's when she is just talking to them or whether it's through her hand gestures or her expressions. It's almost like she's trying to animate the songs and bring them to life for everybody. And I never get the sense that she is bored singing these songs or playing these songs. There's always this authentic energy that she brings to every single one of her performances. And I think that makes such a big difference. We've all been to shows where that has not been the case, and audiences are not stupid. They know when someone is just going through the motions and when someone is sincerely having a good time. And in the case of Dany, you can definitely see that she is having the time of her life. My favorite thing to watch her play live is the guitar solo from Z. She just gets so playful. I love her expression. She kind of sticks out her tongue, and in the best possible way, she reminds me of Nigel Tufnell from Spinal Tap. He kind of does an exaggerated version of what Dany is doing at the beginning of the movie. And the first time that I saw her play live, she played Z, and I immediately thought of Nigel. It just made me love her so much because she is just willing to be silly and fun, and she is just kind of giving it all to her audience. She is just an absolute joy to watch and is immensely talented on so many different different levels. And I forgot to even mention that on top of playing guitar and being an outstanding vocalist, she also plays additional instruments, including piano, which she has played since childhood. Now, what made the personality assessment a little bit easier for me today is that Dany also tends to be very vocal in interviews and on Patreon and Instagram. So there was actually a lot for me to observe and take note of. And I was also able to gather a lot from some of the behind the scene clips where she is just kind of being herself away from the cameras. I think one of the biggest aspects of her personality really is her playfulness and her silliness. She's like this big ball of positive energy. She comes across as being extremely warm, very outgoing, and very, very likable. Something else that's very apparent is her desire to lift other people up. And even though she is front and center a lot of the time, she doesn't seem to be attention hungry or needing validation. She seems very comfortable sharing the spotlight. In fact, her focus seems to be solely on delivering the best show possible, whoever is center stage. So we can see that not only is she a team player and very loyal, but also you get the sense that she really deeply cares about the people around her and wants to make sure that they are seen. We can see this in her relationship with her sisters. In interviews and even on stage, we can see that she wants them to know that they are supported and cared for. And we can probably assume that this carries through into all of her relationships. We can even see this in her interactions with people that she doesn't know that well. Even in interviews, she might be playful, but she's also very respectful. She's very thoughtful, and you can tell that she wants everyone around her to feel comfortable. And she always seems to answer questions in a way that is very kind and is not going to hurt anybody's feelings. I think we can also get a really good sense of her personality when we see her interacting with children. I think she clearly really loves children. She gets very, very animated. And I know that she said that if she wasn't a musician, she probably would have been a teacher. I'm glad she became a musician because she is so talented at what she does, but I also think she would have made a wonderful teacher. I think that very much does align with her personality type. And there is this beautiful moment at a recent acoustic show that she did with Pau, where she gives a little girl her guitar pick and her face just glows with kindness. And I felt in that moment we really got a true glimpse of who she is as a person. So based on all of these factors and observations, I was able to come up with what I strongly believe is her MBTI personality profile. But I have to mention that this assessment is purely speculative and based solely on my own opinion. Also in this video, I'm not going to be going over how the Myers-Briggs type indicator works. I did so in Pau and Ali's video. If you are curious or you are not familiar with the system, you can definitely check those videos out next. I will have them linked in the description box below. But it is my opinion that Dany is an ESFJ. This means she is extroverted, sensing, feeling, and judging. And I'm going to go ahead and give an overview of this personality type now so you can see whether or not you agree it is a good fit. ESFJs are often nicknamed the consuls or the caregivers and are known for being outgoing, organized, tender-hearted, and loyal. They are often described as being gregarious and outgoing and go out of their way to encourage and uplift others. ESFJs also have a strong desire to control the world around them by planning, organizing, and scheduling. As careful observers, this personality type is naturally geared towards understanding those around them and trying to bring out their best. They are kind, loyal, warm, sensitive, dependable, conscientious, focused on relationships, and will go out of their way to make others feel special and celebrated. ESFJs have a strong sense of duty, strong practical skills, and are great at connecting with others. The weaknesses of this personality type can include being vulnerable to criticism, desiring to avoid conflict at all costs, disliking change, and being selfless to the point of neglecting their own needs. Although this personality type can be described as people pleasers, they are not pushovers. They simply like to create harmony around them. So what do you guys think? Is Dany an ESFJ? I definitely think so, although I do think she wouldn't score as high on extroversion as some people may think. I think she's actually a little bit more towards the center of the spectrum, even though she is incredibly outgoing. And something that I absolutely loved about this assessment is that her personality type is nicknamed the caregiver, because I think that absolutely perfectly summarizes her personality. So I truly hope you found today's video to be interesting. It was awesome to have an opportunity to finally assess Dany. I think she is such an incredible musician, such a lovely person. I've always felt so connected to her, so it was a joy to be able to watch her interviews and performances again. And of course, I love any opportunity to support the warning in any way I can. And before I forget, I'm going to be doing one more video in the MBTI of the warning series, which is going to be comparing the three very different and distinct personality types of the three sisters. I'm going to be talking about their similarities and their differences. So go ahead and be on the lookout for that. Please take a moment to say hello in the comments. Definitely like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next week.